Welcome you all. Today we are going to discuss performance appraisal system. Performance appraisal is one of key function in human resource management. And in this concept, we are going to learn about meaning and definition of performance appraisal, objectives, content, importance of performance appraisal, the various methods that involved in performance appraisal, process of performance appraisal, problems and requirements of how an effective performance appraisal will be done in the companies, and last one is recent developments. First, we see what is the meaning of performance appraisal. Performance appraisal is process of evaluating the behavior of employee in the work spot, and that behavior is evaluated both in terms of quantitative and qualitative aspects. What is quantitative? Quantitative means which we can measure. For example, a sales executive, he is going to perform his job based on number of vehicles or targets that they are going to be fixed. That we can easily measure. The number of products or targets that given by the sales executive. Whereas coming to the qualitative aspect, the supervisor is going to observe on the organization the knowledge, skills and abilities of individuals in the organization. That is why performance appraisal means evaluating behavior of employee both in terms of qualitative and quantitative aspects. And performance is measured in terms of results, not on efforts. For example, a college student is preparing very hard for the examinations. If he is unable to perform an examination, it won't be good. Likewise, how much effort the student has put for preparation, that won't be considered. At the end of the day, the results will matter. And performance appraisal is basis for employee development in the organization. That means by evaluating the individual performance in the organization, they will take some kind of measurements to improve the salary or give promotions to the employees. Now, definition. According to Edwin B. Flippo, he defines performance appraisal is a systematic, periodic and impartial rating. Systematic means it's a well organized procedures, and periodic. Some companies yearly once they used to conduct, and some multinational companies yearly twice also they used to conduct. And impartial, and the rating will be unbiased of employees' excellence on matters pertaining to his or her present job for completing a better job in the organization. This is all about definition of performance appraisal. Now we will see what are the various objectives of performance appraisal. See, every aspect will be having one or the other objective. The main objective of performance appraisal is to eliminate poor performance in the organization and make the productivity of the organization going to be enhanced. Along with that, the other objectives of performance appraisal is it is very key to take crucial decisions in human resource, like placement of employee, payment in terms of how much salary increase that we are going to make, transfers of employee, and with respect to good performance, they are going to give promotions, and if he is not performed well once and twice giving training program, they will give some kind of punishments. The second one is it provides coaching, counseling and even motivation to the subordinates, those who are not performing well in the organization. And it reduces a grievance between supervisor and subordinate. That is also one of the important objective of performance appraisal, and it confirms the services of probationary employees. Probationary means initially once the employee is joined in the organization, he won't directly go on to the roles. He will be under observation. During that observation, his performance is well, then only they are going to confirm the services of employee further in the organization. And to test the effectiveness of HR activities like recruitment and selection, placement, as well as training programs. If performance is not up to the mark, they are going to give some kind of training programs. And the very, very important and performance appraisal is after completion of the performance appraisal system, feedback is very, very important. By knowing the feedback, the employee able to know where he is lagging behind. That is, these are the various objectives which performance appraisal system is considers. Next, we'll see various contents. To appraise an individual, we have to take a list of contents, and these list of contents are determined based on the job analysis. And depends upon the job, the contents may vary from one job to the another job. And those are the knowledge of work, ability of the individual to work with other. That means how far he is mingling with the other co-employees or co-workers or peer in the organization. And regularity of attendance, whether he is regularly attending to the office or he is having any absenteeism, those are also considered into a performance content. Self-expression, how good he is in communication with respect of both written and oral communication. And he has to maintain proper relations with supervisors, peers, and even with his subordinates, juniors also. And personal qualities like initiative. It is one of the principle of Henry Fayol's. Initiative means he is ready to accept the responsibilities in the organization, and at the same time the qualities of leadership, how much he is going to possess, the ability, and how far he is depending on others. All these aspects are considered to appraise an individual. And the last one is how good he is offering suggestions to the company for development. The quality of suggestions that what he is going to offer for improvement of the organization is also very, very important. These are the various contents which are considered in performance appraisal, and this is tailor-made. Depends upon the job, it may vary. Now the importance of performance appraisal. This is also asked in examination, importance, need or purpose. Whatever the way they are asked, whether need or purpose, you can write these things into the exam. Now it is very important in identifying the training needs of the employees, and it identifies individuals with higher potential for promotions to move on to the higher positions in the organization, and it creates positive working environment, so the productivity of the organization will be increases, and it creates competitive spirit among the employees. After evaluating the individual, getting a good appraisal for other employees, it will brings some of the competitive spirit among the employees. It provides an opportunity for management to size up, because during the times like layoff or recession, the companies are going to take retrenchment, reducing the manpower. To reduce this manpower, first of all, they will focus on people who are not performing well in the organization. In that particular point of time, this performance appraisal is very, very useful. Now move on to the performance appraisal methods. It's a very, very important question. due consideration of examination point of view for both undergraduates and postgraduates. Performance appraisal methods are categorized into two types. One is traditional methods and another one is modern methods. Traditional methods are categorized into 9 different types, and modern methods are categorized into 3 methods. And now we will see these methods one by one. First one is unstructured appraisal method. The name itself indicates that unstructured. It is not having a proper predetermined criteria to evaluate the individual in the organization. Only the appraiser or the supervisor is going to require to write down his impressions. That means what he feels, that he is going to write about the person whom he is going to appraise in the organization, and it is the method very highly subjective, individual aspect, and the personal bias reflects through the impressions of the rater in his report. That is a drawback, one of the drawback of this method, and usually this unstructured appraisal method followed in a small companies where the number of employees are very less. Next, employee ranking method. The ranking method is as simple as in schools and colleges how we are rated based on our performance in a examination. Likewise, in organization also, if employees are performing well, they are giving the best rank, and those employees who are not up to the mark, they will be given a least ranks and all. And here, all the workers are judged on the same factor. The factor which they are going to evaluate in this ranking method is same. It becomes very difficult. This method, when we apply it into the large number of employees, that means medium or large scale industries, this appraisal method won't work. This appraisal method is best suitable for very small organizations. Now, a forced distribution. This is a very, very important method, and which is used by the renowned company called Usha. And in this forced distribution method, the supervisor must assign only a certain portion of his or her subordinates to each of several categories on each evaluative factor. Several categories means here the categories are divided into 5 aspects. Those are excellent, good, average, below average, and unsatisfactory. And here the portions are 10%, 20%, 40%, 20, and 10. Likewise, here they are already predeterminedly they are going to divide the employees. Suppose if you want to evaluate the performance of 50 people in the organization, 10% of the employees we have to make them into a unsatisfactory. Out of 50, 10% means it is roughly 5 people. 5 people we have to make their performance as unsatisfactory, whereas 20%, 10 people as below average, 40 people, 40% of people, that means 20 people are average, and 20% of the people, that means 10 are good, and 10%, again the 5 candidates are excellent in their performance. A common forced distribution, that means 5 categories already we discussed: excellent, good, average, below average, and unsatisfactory. A fixed percentage of all subordinates in the group fall within the each category. That means here the category was fixed. That means 10% of people, 5 people are of excellent. Likewise, forcibly they are divided the employees based on their performance. And this method is used in Usha company. Now we will see some of the advantages and disadvantages of forced distribution method. The advantages are, it's really boost the productivity of the organization. using fear as a fuel. That means just now we have seen that people are distributed based on categories, excellent, poor, or not average performers and all. Like that, the fear factor may helps to increase the productivity in the organization and quick identification of top performers. That means only 10% of the people are in a top performer that will be identified very easily. On other side of the coin, it is having some of the disadvantages. Those are its moral problems. Some employees who are performing well in the organization, even though because of the rating, if they are not up to the bracket that what they are expecting, their self-confidence level are going to decrease. Second, unhealthy competition. If the employees are not satisfied, automatically they create a problem and it is going to disturb the entire relations of the company. Next, high risk of burnout. The stress of the employees are increases and sometimes the company may lose their talent to the other companies also. These are the advantages and disadvantages of forced distribution method. Next, we move on to the graphic rating scale. And this method also used in small organizations because here they are taking to the rating scale and they followed Likert graphic rating scale. This Likert scale will be having a 5 rating and as well as a 7 rating, depends upon the company's requirement. They will follow either 5 rating scale method or 7 rating scale method. Here I have taken an example of a marketing people who is having a product knowledge. Based on these 5 factors or 5 rating points are taken, that means how far he is having a knowledge on a product. He is having an average. Like that, based on the knowledge of employee towards the work that what he is performing, he is going to be categorized. And the rating helps the employees to quantify the behavior displayed by its employees. Automatically, if I have taken only product knowledge as one of the example, next they will take into consideration how far he is maintaining a relations with the customers. Like that, number of criteria will be considered and the employee will be rated in the organization. And the next method is a checklist method. It consists of a series of statements, both a positive and negative, and the employees are rated on the basis of a number of positive checks. And it evaluator only checks yes or no things. And here a few questions are there. Only positive aspects will be considered. For example, see here, is a regular on the job? Yes. Does he maintain the discipline well in the company? Yes. Shows the consistent behavior to all colleagues? Yes. Is interested in their job? Like means all the positive. Sometimes here, keeps making mistakes. That means if you want to evaluate into the positive, we have to say no. Likewise, number of positive evaluations only they are considered in a checklist method. And last one is show favoritism towards a particular colleagues. No. That means here each and every employee will be rated all these things and number of positives that they are considered for appraisal of individual. The next method is a critical incident method. Generally, an organization, the employees with the regular aspects, they can perform well. When the times of critical incident, that means they won't come across with the problems in a regular course of their job. That is why whenever those kind of critical situation, how the employees are responding, that they are considered in terms of positive and negative aspect. For example, I have taken here a model of recording critical incidents for a bank. In the bank, for example, they have given a target for the bank employee deposit mobilization and at the same time how best he is maintaining a customer services. In deposit mobilization, they have given some of the targets, and we will see how the critical incidents were happened. In deposit mobilization, they have given a target of 10 lakhs in 1995 and 3 lakhs for business and 4 lakhs for educational institution. In each and every aspect, the employee performed a little high comparing with the targets. And the second aspect, a customer service, if you see here, the employee is given 2 lakhs deposit mobilization from individuals and 1 lakh from government departments. Here he is not in a position to reach the target. And at the same time, the different aspects they are considered. See here, prompt and disposing of customers during the bank hours. 5 minutes for deposit. Actually what he displayed here in the sense, he thrown the passbook forcibly for inquiring about the delay. That means here, the employee was emotionally unstable and he has not shown proper behavior towards a customer. Because nowadays, every organization treats their customers as a king or customer as a god, in the saying of Mahatma Gandhi. And the second thing is 8 minutes for withdrawal. Here, the critical incident is he abused the customer for inquiring about the delay in withdrawal. These kind of critical aspects are considered for evaluating an individual, and based on the number of positives, the employees are appraised. The next method is essay method. This essay method is also called as free form method. In this essay, the supervisor is going to prepare a list of qualities that what the subordinate is going to possess. Here, he will be included even the facts based on the performance of an individual, which includes some sort of support information. Because as he thinks, he cannot written on the essay method. Whatever exactly he performed, that only he can return, and for that whatever he have written, he has provided some of the supported documents. This method will be used in renowned companies called Bata and BPL. This method they are following. And the next method is field review method. A field review method, here the raters does not belong to the organization. They are from outside the organization or outside the same department of the company. And the raters is someone from the corporate, especially from HR department. The success of this method depends upon the competence of the interviewer. And the major drawback in this method is the person who is coming from other department, he may not evaluate the individual thoroughly, because whatever the conversation he made, based on that he can measure. But what actually he is doing during the course of his job, that won't be considered. That is a major drawback of field review method. And the next method is a paid comparison. Here in this method, each and every employee is compared with the fellow employee in the organization. For example, if 4 employees are there in the organization, each and every employee is comparing with the other employee. How means, if number of employees increase the number of combinations, we can use the formula n into n minus 1 by 2. Here 4 employees were there. And this 4 employees, 4 into 4 minus 1 by 2. 4 into 3 by 2. Total 6 comparisons we will get. See here, we will get 6 comparisons. A to B, A to C, A to D, B to C, B to B. This is how each and every employee is going to compare with one or the other employee. And it will take a lot of time to evaluate when the number of employees are large in the organization. And this is explained with one more example. In this example, we can see here two criteria, two characteristics we have taken. One is a quality of work and another one is creativity of employee in the organization. In this, 5 employees we are taken, and each and every employee we are going to compare with the respective fellow employee. A is comparing with B, A is comparing with C, A is compared with D, A is compared with E. Likewise, how many positives he will get, that individual is best performer in the company. Likewise, same, the creativity also. Here the number of plus, here we got A. Art ranks the highest here. Likewise, the comparisons will be taken place. Just now we have used the formula n into n minus 1 by 2. There we have taken the example of 4 employees. Here we have taken 5 employees. That means how many combinations we will get here? 5 into 5 minus 1 by 2. Total 10 comparisons. See here the positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Likewise, in this also the 10 comparisons will be there. Who will be getting a number of positives? That candidate will be rated high in the organization. And initially this method used in companies called Godrej and Otis Elevators. Next we move on to the modern methods of performance appraisal. In a modern methods of performance appraisal, the first and foremost important method is MBO, Management by Objectives, which was developed by Peter F. Drucker in the 1954. Even though he developed this method in 1954, recently it was implemented in the organizations. And in this method, employer and employee driven approach. Both the employee and employer are sitting together and they are going to set the goals. Because both the parties, when they are involved and setting the goals, then the subordinate also feels that he is also one of the part of the organization. Likewise, both the parties are going to sit and they are going to fix the goals. And ultimately, they are responsible. That means the subordinates are responsible for attainment of the organizational goals. And in HR terminology, this process of involving subordinates into the decision making, we are called as workers participation in management decisions. If employees are involved in any kind of decision making, ultimately they will feel the responsibility and they will feel also the ownership to do the particular task. That is the reason why this method is very useful in nowadays scenarios. And next method is BARS, behaviorally anchored rating scale method. In this BARS, both the quantitative and the qualitative data of employees are considered for appraisal. And here the BARS are compared with individual performance against the specific examples of behavior attached to the numerical ratings. That means both here the behavior will be compared along with a different rating by using a rating scale. How it is going to work out, we will see in this example. See, in this example, the cooperation of sales team members, how it is going on. See here, the number of observed behavior and at the same time the categories of performance. The category is divided into high performers, moderate performers and even very low performers. And here the observed behavior, how the sales people are behaving in a particular aspect. Suppose, for example, salesperson is generally antagonistic toward other team members and frequently undercuts group effort. That means he is not encouraging the group performance. Ultimately, even he is going to given a 0 or 1 rating. Like that, the salesperson is usually willing to help other team members on field sales problem. That means he is very cooperative in the field. definitely he will be rated as a 5 to 6 points. His performance is very moderate. Like that here, both quantitative as well as qualitative aspects are considered with the help of a rating scale. That is why nowadays, to overcome the bias, rating bias, this method are used in corporates. And the last and very important method of performance appraisal is 360-degree performance appraisal. In this 360-degree performance appraisal, the individuals are evaluated by all the people. And this method was developed early in 90s and it was initially used by General Electric Company, GE. It is a logo of a company, GE. Initially, they have used this performance appraisal method, and it is a type of employee performance review in which all the people like subordinates, co-workers, managers, and all anonymously, that means like customers, they will also considered, and they are going to give a report on employee. This employee is eligible for appraisal. By knowing all these report, they will be considered whether his performance is good or not. Why this 360-degree in the sense taken the response from all the people in the sense, for example, if one or the other reason, any kind of bias, if your boss or a manager, superior or a manager, if you are not maintaining a good relation, if he is not given a good rating, then they will consider how far he is maintaining with the relations and how far the feedback given by the peers or co-workers towards the employee performance. To overcome that grievances, this 360-degree performance appraisal is used, and the companies like Wipro, Reliance Industries Limited, and Infosys, these companies are using this 360-degree performance appraisal method. Next, we move on to what are the steps involved in performance appraisal process. In this process, 6 steps are included. First one is, before appraising an individual, we have to set some standards. We have to set the standards. That means targets we have to set. And once we set the standards, that standards we have to communicate to the employees. Why we want to communicate in the sense, ultimately in due course of time, the employees are responsible to perform in the organization. Once we have to set, we have to communicate to the employees. After communicating the employees, during the time period, we have to measure. After 3 months or 6 months time period, we have to measure whether they are performing well or not. And after measuring the performance, we have to compare the performance of individuals with the standards. By comparing the performance appraisal, performance of individual with standards and what actuals they are going to perform, we can able to know that whether they are improved their performance or they are decreased their performance. Here we are going to discuss this improvement of results or decreasing of results, and based on these results we will take further actions. If the employee who is performing well, definitely he will be promoted and he will be received good salary increments. And the employee who is not performing well, maybe chances are there, he is going to undergone for a training program, or sometimes after giving a frequent training programs also, if he is unable to improve his performance, definitely the organization will terminate individual from the company. These are the 6 different steps involved in a performance appraisal process. Now, we will look at into what are the problems that involved in performance appraisal. The major problem that occurs in performance appraisal is rating errors. While we are rating the candidates, there are many kind of errors which we are going to come across with. Those are halo effect. Halo effect means evaluating the individual based on a single trait or a characteristic. That means, for example, in a content we have seen a number of criteria. For example, I have taken only a regularity of employee. He is regular, but he is unable to perform. But the company has taken only the regularity of attendance. Then remaining people who are performing well and one or the other reason if they are not regular, they are going to affect. That is why this halo effect can be reduced. Next, error of central tendency. Error of central tendency means here the rater cannot give high rating or at the same time low rating in a 10-point rating scale. Here he will give on average the same rating for the employees 4 to 7, and it will be looks like a normal distribution curve where to overcome the problem he is going to rate all the employees into a single. That means he is not given a too high score or at the same time too low score. Next thing is the leniency and strictness. When you come to the aspects called management, the laissez-faire will not work in some organizations, in some situations, and at the same time autocratic also not follow. Too much lenience and too much strictness may affect the employee performance. That is why he has to follow a democratic. That means he has to take in the opinions of the employees before appraising. Next, the recency effect. Recency effect means whenever the performance appraisal time comes in the organization, they consider only past 2 to 3 months performance of individual. This does not holds good for the company, because some employees who continuously work for the 9 months and the last 3 months, they are unable to perform well because one or the other reason. At the time, the employees who performed well before 2 to 3 months of performance appraisal, they will be getting a highest rating, and the employee who got all the 9 months very well, he will not rated well. That is the reason why this is also one of the rating error in a performance appraisal. And next thing is spillover effect. Spillover in the sense the past performances of a individual. The past performance in the sense earlier he is good in performance. That means in the last year he performed well. And now this year he is not performed well. But the company has taken the last year performance. And some employee who is newly joined and he performed well and there is no base. At that time, those kind of effects may affect the morale, confidence level of the employee to continue in the organization further. That is why the spillover effect is also affects the relations in the organization, and at the same time it will affect the productivity of the company. Next, lack of knowledge. The raters who are rating in the organization, they should have a thorough knowledge in rating, and the resistance by trade unions. Some or the other crucial or important problem is the company has to maintain a good relations with the trade union, or else these people will create a disturbance to the organization for productivity. negative approach, because some of the organizations they feel that performance appraisal is a punishment rather than development. After appraising the individuals who are not performing well, some companies they will terminate. That is why that kind of negative approach should be avoided, and multiple objectives of performance appraisal. If number of qualities are more and more, definitely it won't be a appraised well in the company. That is the reason why whatever the objectives that we are considered for performance appraisal, that should be having very limited, and it should be a job specific. Next, the requirements of an effective performance appraisal system. These are the basic requirements which can overcome the problems of performance appraisal. Here we have to specify the clear objectives. We have to specify the clear objectives, and it should be a realistic one and achievable at the same time measure. In simple, it should be a SMART goals. SMART objectives. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bounded. And mutual trust. The trust should be there between subordinate and supervisor. When there is having proper trust, then only they can work well in the company. The standard techniques and procedures. Now we have seen number of methods. Among those methods, which one is best suited for that company, that we can identify, and training the evaluators. Because if the evaluators are not having enough knowledge, they are not in a position to rate the employee. That is the reason why training of evaluators is very, very important before they are going for performance appraisal. Maintaining reports. Whatever we are assessed, that assessment will be kept on a record for future course of time. And the next thing is effective feedback and participation. The feedback is very, very important in a organization. Based on the feedback, the employee can improve his performance. Those who are already performing well, they can go for promotions in a company. That is how various steps or aspects we have to consider for effective performance appraisal. And the last thing is the recent developments in performance appraisal. Here the recent developments is the approach of management changes nowadays, performance management, and earlier they are using a documentation. Now all they are using a computer based performance management. Next, it should be a tailor-made. Depends upon the job, they have to change. Customized performance management system, and not only yearly once, they are not in a position to rate the employee. During the course of time, they have to go and ask the employees whether they are come across with any kind of problems by doing the job in the organization. Identifying and coaching the employee for further personal development, and feedback will be given regularly to gain employee, that means to increase the employee movement in the organization performance. And last one is a professional training is going to be a very, very important. It's a very, very vital for a company. Paramount means vital. A professional training will be given regularly to the employees to improve their performance. With this, we come to an end of topic performance appraisal. And now once we recollect whatever we discussed, meaning and definition of performance appraisal, objectives of performance appraisal, and importance, methods of performance, whatever the various contents that are used in performance appraisal, process, problems, and how to overcome the problem, and the recent development. See here, the quotation given by Stephen R. Covey. Always treat your employees exactly as you want them to treat your best customer. That means how best you are going to treat your customers. Likewise, you have to treat your employees so that both the organization will achieve their goals, and at the same time the employees also contribute for achievement of organization goal. That's it. Thank you very much.